question of if Florida's going to be impacted. It's a question of how bad Florida's going to be impacted. The power is going to be out for days in Florida, if not longer in some cases, and we're going to need neighbors checking neighbors, after this event as well. Listen to their local officials, but when we see evacuations taking place, what we try to do is break down the number that are going to need mass care support, and some of those numbers are well over 100,000 people in shelters for this event.
Devastating conditions arriving with Hurricane Irma. And just like FEMA just said, many people will be in shelters and many volunteers are needed as well for the state of Florida. We do have one example of one of the many threats associated with Hurricane Irma, and that is storm surge. Dr. Greg Postel has more.
Liana, thank you very much. We do expect life-threatening storm surge, unfortunately, across much of the southern part of Florida. And this is going to be coming on Saturday night and Sunday with the approach and the landfall of Hurricane Irma. Remember, one of the most significant risks to life and property with a landfalling hurricane is with storm surge flooding. And you can go and find out what you can expect, or at least sort of the higher end values of what you can expect. The worst case scenario, if you go and follow these maps that have been produced by the National Hurricane Center. Go to nhc.noaa.gov to find these maps, and you can almost go block by block and find out what the worst case scenario is for the amount of water rise above normally dry ground that you can expect. Again, in kind of the worst case scenario, but it is exactly what you need to prepare for. So, for example, we've made these maps here to show you that you can go to Fort Myers, the southwestern part of Florida. Don't forget, is going to get significant storm surge as Irma moves on northward through the peninsula. There's going to be a strong southwest wind pushing that Gulf of Mexico water inland to significant heights. Look, for example, on Naples, Florida, just to give you the idea of what the scale here is. The blue is 1 to 3, the yellow is 3 to 6 feet, orange is 6 to 9 feet, water above normally dry ground. You can go block by block. Highway 41 will be inundated for parts of it as well. If you're familiar with the area, for example, on North Road or Coconut Circle North, you can go street by street and find out exactly what to expect, at least in the sort of the higher end scenarios here that suggest that there will be a significant part, unfortunately, of the area nearby Fort Myers and Naples that will be underwater. And this is a big, big problem. This is just south of Naples, Florida. But let's move around a bit on this map and show you some other locations to show you that there's going to be so much of the area of South Florida with that southwest wind coming in with Irma moving on off to the north that it's going to see significant flooding, inundation from Hurricane Irma and its movement away from the region. So here you go, all the Everglades, Highway 41 underwater, perhaps as much as 9 feet at least. Now you might think, okay, what does this mean? 1 to 3 feet, 3 to 6. What does that mean? What does that exactly look like? We've got a graphic to show you exactly how that all shakes out. Let's go to our graphics to show you that when you sort of rise that water from the ground and bring it up, 6 inches of water is all it takes to knock you off your feet. And then when it gets above that, say for example up to about 2 feet, that is enough to carry carry a car away. Beyond that, once it gets up to 3 to 6 feet, that's above my head. And that gets into the first floors of houses and structures and businesses and shelters and completely inundates the lower floors of those buildings. Above that, 6 to 9 feet, again, some of the areas are expected to receive this much flooding above normally dry ground. That is enough to essentially inundate an entire structure, something you absolutely don't want to be a part of. Follow the advice of your local emergency managers, of your local officials. If they expect you, if they tell you to leave, absolutely do so right now. Leanna, back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Postel. Now I want to show you new video just into us of damage in Turks and Caicos, the latest to be hit by Hurricane Irma. This is what Irma is capable of, catastrophic damage. And this right here is why you need to evacuate now if you've been given evacuation orders. You can see windows, doors blown out, glass completely strewn across the floors, across the buildings, inside the buildings, tore up. I mean, it is devastating to see these images. Unfortunately, Hurricane Irma is heading our way, so we'll have more after the break.
When someone truly believes in you, you can achieve great things, like hitting the game-winning home run or graduating first in your class. At Loan Depot,